Alright, it's time for the jitters. Get the jitters out, get the jitters out. This low-key feels good. This is gonna be 5-star frog splash. Ooh, the bed's shaking. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Agnell, encouraging you to try new things. Bow, bow. I hope everybody's staying safe during this time of crisis, this coronavirus. Hope you're washing your hands. Whew. That 5-star frog splash is real. All the WWE fans. I kind of feel bad for the people that have like mental health issues and stuff and kind of get relief from going to work or going outside or going for a jog outside or whatever, and they really can't now because of this whole crisis. But shout out to you guys. Just try and hang in there. I know it's easier said than done, but just hang in there and just try and occupy your mind with something around the house, or try and find a new hobby or something like that. I want to know what you guys are doing to keep your mind off of all of this craziness that's going on in the world. So if you have a new hobby that you tried and you enjoyed and you suggest to anybody else, to me, to people that have mental health issues, or anything that can help somebody keep their mind off of this craziness, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear about them. I'd love for people that need it to hear about them as well. So drop your new hobbies or your old hobbies or whatever in the comments. All right, so this video is gonna be another Q&A video. I had a few of my acquaintances and friends reach out to me on social media and wanted me to answer a few questions. So I want to do that. I actually like doing these videos. If you see video 1, that my first video that I've posted, I did a Q&A and I had a lot of fun with that one. So we're gonna do another Q&A for this video, and let's dig right into it. So question 1 comes from Josh B. I don't want to put everybody's government out there, so I'm gonna just initial their last names. What was it like growing up for you? When I was around 7, that's when things kind of got a little bit tough for us. And I say us as in me and my 3 siblings. We had to move from apartment to apartment. We had no hot water for periods of time, no consistent meals every day, not having money to go on class trips at school, no lunch cards, no lunch meals in school, no large variety of clothes and sneakers to wear, lots of stressful and tense situations in the household. The list goes on and on, but I'm just grateful for both of my parents. They did the best they could to support us and keep a roof over our heads and keep our stomachs full. So shout out to you, Mom and Dad. I love you guys forever and ever. However, the people that I've met during my childhood definitely had a huge positive impact on me. When I used to live in Parkwood, shout out to everybody that used to live in Parkwood with me. We would spend so much time at that field playing basketball, football, manhunt, riding our bikes, water balloon fights, skateboarding, going to 7-Eleven on July 11th and, getting free Slurpees. And then when I lived in Perth Amboy, shout out to everybody I was cool with in high school. We would, go to Fu Lin and get Chinese food. We would go to all the 50,000 basketball courts that they had around town and play basketball for hours. Playing on the school sports teams, the basketball team, the soccer team, the baseball team. Even though we weren't that great, we still had lots of fun. But overall, I wouldn't change my childhood at all. My childhood made me who I am today. And so moments like when I used to sell candy in school, I used to sell blow pops and airheads in middle school, and I got my first iPod Touch with that. Then I went to high school and started selling candy bars, canned drinks like, Sprite, Pepsi, iced tea. I started selling airheads as well, blow pops as well, you name it.
But look at it! Look! I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkey, rabbit, you name it! God name it!
just being a hustler at a very young age taught me that, you know, if you want something in life, you have to go out and get it. Because of the fact that my parents didn't have a lot of money to get me what I wanted, like a PS3 or an iPod Touch, those all weren't essentials that we needed. I wanted those things, so I went out and bought candy and sold it at school and bought all those things for myself, which was pretty cool. And so I stick to that motto till this day.
To this day!
If you want something, you have to go out and get it, and don't make any excuses, and you will get it. Overall, it was pretty tough growing up because of the conditions that I grew up in, but everything that I've mentioned in the beginning that was kind of negative, you know, it's kind of just the tip of the iceberg. But overall, I just made the best out of the situations that I was in, and it made me who I am as a person today. And I'm extremely grateful for my childhood, regardless if it was negative or whatever. Question 2 is, what are some of your most greatest internal and external motivators? That was asked by Diego. Diego, one of the coolest, funniest dudes I've met in Amboy since I moved there. Shout out to you, Diego. I hope life's treating you very, very well. So yeah, let's dig into that question. It's a very, very interesting one. But I'll start off with the internal motivator. Believe it or not, I use fear to motivate me to be the best me that I can be. And that rhymed effortlessly.
I'm not a rapper.
On a side note, I started rapping and I started, writing rhymes down, and I'm pretty impressed with what I came up with. I'll make a video on that pretty soon, but yeah, just wanted to throw that in there. Even though my childhood taught me almost everything that I know today and made me a better person, I don't want myself or my kids, if I have any in the future, to go through what I went through as a child growing up. The living conditions that I had as a child, I don't want that for myself again, and I don't want that for my offspring if I have any. That alone causes me to work 55-hour work weeks so I can get out of debt efficiently and be more financially fit in the future. But that does require me to put fun and entertainment to the side temporarily. It kind of sucks, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I know once I'm debt free, I will have a lot more money to do stuff and be more financially stable. Another thing that kind of scares me is health conditions. My grandmother passed away from cancer, and a lot of my relatives have diabetes, high blood pressure, mild stages of dementia, and I just don't want to fall into that trap of relying on medications to keep me alive.
Oh, you stink!
So as of right now, I'm switching my diet up a little bit. I'm eating a lot more clean, a lot more healthier, a lot more fruits and vegetables so that I can stay away from all of those medical conditions that will alter my lifestyle and the lifestyle that I want to live. But just think about it. Like, what if you can't go skydiving or do something really cool, or like a cool excursion, because you have a medical condition stopping you? Sometimes on roller coasters it tells you that if you have, X, Y, and Z medical conditions, then it's not recommended that you get on the roller coaster. And just stuff like that, it's just, I want to be able to have the freedom to do whatever I want and not have medical conditions stop me from doing whatever I want. So the fear of medical conditions motivates me as well. But just think about this. The fear of not having food on your table or a roof over your head causes you to wake up every morning and go to a 9-to-5 job, spend a third of your day working to make money to have food on your table and have a roof over your head. Guilty. The fear of judgment causes people to put so much effort into their Instagram posts, their Facebook posts, their Snapchat posts, just so they can get as many likes as they can. Guilty. Fear of judgment also causes people to bite their tongues about certain topics and their thoughts and opinions on certain topics in front of family, co-workers, close friends, etc. Guilty. The fear of failure causes people to not try new things, like starting a new business or finding a new hobby or whatever. Guilty. I use fear as a internal motivator in a couple of different ways. I feel like all this fear puts people in like a box controlled by fear. And like there's no freedom in that. And I low-key kind of fear being put in that box controlled by fear. Look at the irony behind that. But overall, I use fear to reach living the life that I want to live and doing the things that I want to do unapologetically. And I feel like there might be some pros and cons to this whole fear topic that I just discussed, but that's just what I do. That's how I live. I would like to hear your opinions on what I just said about fear. You can drop those in the comments as well. That'd be cool, and I'll take that information and go with it. And as for external motivators, two people that really motivate me to be great and be the best me that I can be are Dave Ramsey and Gary Vaynerchuk, or Gary V. Aside from financials and money and stuff like that, Dave Ramsey usually talks about life as well too, because people call in with some pretty crazy scenarios and he kind of, talks about their scenarios, and it might not be money based all the time. And so I've learned a lot about life from Dave Ramsey, but overall, he's still keeping me on track to get out of debt efficiently. Gary V's advice for being very efficient on social media is important to me because I'm obviously trying to grow a YouTube channel, as you can see. He just offers a lot of motivation, and even in his speeches, it's just so motivational and so inspiring. He literally exudes motivation. It's crazy. He says a lot of things that are like, it'll make you sit down and think like, wow, yeah, that's really, really true. And he always preaches about patience and consistency when trying to achieve your goals. And that's something that I'm kind of learning. Even with this YouTube channel, I have to learn how to be more patient and consistently put out potent videos for you guys to watch. Thank you, Gary V. Thank you, Dave Ramsey. And thank you, Fear, for pushing me to be the best me that I can be. Next question comes from Kanan, my boy Kanan back in Jersey. I miss you. I miss hanging out with the crew. Hope you're doing okay. FYI guys, my boy Kanan is a rapper, aspiring rapper. Check out his song Bappin'. It's in my 5th video. It's really dope. It's one of my favorites from his. Go check it out, and go check out video 5 while you're there. And the question is, if you could, what are 3 things you would tell your 14-year-old self? Wow. Crazy. That's a very, very good question. Yo, you need to start reading books. If you're not reading books now, you need to start reading books now. Almost everything that I know in life right now is from me reading books. Books like The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, The Defining Decade by Meg J, Fast Food Genocide by Dr. Joel Fuhrman, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, Black Privilege by Charlemagne the God. All those books are great, and just reading books will teach you how to maneuver through life a lot more smooth. Knowledge really is power, and the more you know about things, the better your life will be. Books will literally change your life. Read a freaking book. Second, try not to try hard to fit in, and try not to conceal parts of your personality just to fit in with a certain group of people. Over time, that'll get really exhausting and you may lose your true self. Just try and be yourself, and the people that'll come into your life will accept you for who you are. Just try not to fit in with a certain group of people because you think they're cool or whatever it may be. Be yourself. Got it. And the last thing I want to tell you is you don't really have to go to Yale or Harvard to prove to anybody that you will be successful or you're smart or whatever. Going into $160,000 of debt to be, I don't know, like a dental hygienist who usually make about $55,000 a year, it's just like, it doesn't make any sense. Spending all that money to make that much money. It doesn't make sense. So try to find a cheaper in-state school to save money on tuition, so that way when you graduate, you're not gonna be stuck in this big pile of debt that you'll have to pay off. And basically that debt is gonna cause your life to be on pause for a very, very long time. And those really fancy and expensive degrees really don't guarantee you a job after you graduate, because employers really spend about like 20 seconds looking over a resume, and they don't even care where you went to school. They just want to know if you have the experience to do the job. Don't spend all this money on a degree that you can get at a different, cheaper school. Please, please don't be an idiot when it comes to financing school. Don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot. Got it. Question 4 comes from Danielle. How does one deal with heartbreak from a toxic relationship? Ooh, interesting. Well, Danielle, I can't say that I have been in a toxic relationship, but I have been heartbroken a few times.
Boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
First and foremost, you got to cut that person off completely. Like everything, social media, phone number, pictures on the phone, little pictures throughout the household, all that stuff. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Burn it if you have to. Then once you got rid of them on your phone and all that stuff, you have to give yourself time to heal. And that healing period may take years for you to get back to that stable mindset. During that time, you're gonna have urges to talk to that person, to reach out to them and subliminally reach out to them to try and get them to talk to you. Don't do any of that stuff. You have to constantly remind yourself why you broke up with that person and why the relationship was 100% toxic. You don't want to get back into that toxic relationship because it's only just gonna make things worse for you. So don't reach out to that person at all while you're grieving about the breakup. Another thing you want to avoid while grieving and, still being heartbroken is don't try and date other people while you're still heartbroken and you're still in love with your ex, because it doesn't make any sense. Number one, you still know that you're feeling feelings and emotions for that toxic person that you broke up with. And two, you're gonna waste your time and the person that you're dating's time. You're not gonna get in a relationship with that new person, and if you do, you're wasting both of you guys' time. So don't do that. And you might end up bringing that toxicity to the next person that you date, and that's gonna screw them up too. So that's 100% unfair for the person that you may wanna date while you're still grieving and heartbroken from that last relationship. So don't date anybody. Don't try and find comfort from anybody else. Use the heartbreak time and the grieving time to focus on yourself. And then the last question was asked by Dwight. Shout out to you, Dwight, my competitive boy in UNH times in basketball, video games, etc. I hope you and your fiance are doing super well in CT. But yeah, what role do you think religion plays on Black people? Wow. I remember you saying that this question was too deep for me. And it is really, really deep, but I'll do my best to answer it. Let's see. So first off, I just want to mention that I'm sure a lot of people know that Black people have it pretty bad living in America. Systemic racism is still an issue that we face today. It's very, very tough for us Black people to win in this country. As a Black man who's slowly starting to engage in Christianity, I just feel like God got me through a lot of tough times through unexplainable events. And let me give you an example. One night I was driving for Uber and or Lyft. I can't remember which one I was using. I was very excited to be out that night because I knew it was gonna start snowing and I knew it was busy. I knew people were out partying, drinking, getting drunk, blah, blah, blah. So I knew I was gonna make a lot of money that day. Once it started snowing, I got so excited. I was like, yes, I'm about to make hella bread. It's about to be lit. I don't know if I should say hell or hella in this conversation. But yeah, yeah. I was gonna make a lot of money. So I'm driving, then I get a request to pick up a girl, and I picked up the girl, and she was with a friend. The friend was sober, and I could tell the girl was like, the other friend was very, very, very drunk. I could tell already. I'm like, oh shoot, okay. So she gets in the car, we're driving, and then I just hear some weird noises, some weird moans and groans in the back seat. I'm like, it's probably nothing. I'm gonna keep driving. The drunk girl ends up throwing up all over my back seat. I'm like, well, this is it. This is the end of the night. And I was literally so pissed. The sober friend was like, oh, it's okay. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I'll leave you a nice big tip. I'm like, it doesn't matter because my night is over and I can't make money. Like, I was purposely trying to make her feel guilty, which is kind of screwed up. But at the same time, I'm like, damn, I'm about to lose all this money that I could have made. So I dropped them off, and then I immediately just took some pictures, sent it over to Lyft, and then went home. So the next morning, it was Sunday, and so I woke up and went to church after obviously cleaning my back seat a little bit. And then as we were leaving church, I noticed my car was like slowly drifting over to the right. And so I'm like, that's kind of weird. So I pulled over and I looked at my tire. The tire was completely flat. And so I'm like, damn, like another thing. It's just like things that are just happening back and forth is just not playing into my favor. But what I thought about, and I was thinking as I was changing my tire, I'm like, what if this happened to me as I was driving Uber that last night when that girl threw up in my car and it started snowing like crazy, which it did. I would have been stranded out in the middle of the road, possibly with a passenger in my back seat with a flat tire. It would have been cold. I didn't have any gloves with me or anything like that. And I would have been stranded waiting for AAA for hours because it was like 1 a.m. and I would have been SOL. So like an event like that, people call it like a coincidence or just something that happened, but I call that God looking out for me. And that's not the only time that's happened to me. There's been many coincidences that you just really can't explain. So I just call that God looking out for me and protecting me. And I think ultimately that's what religion plays on Black people. It's just a spiritual protection from the evils and wrongdoings from people from the world. And people might call this an overstatement, but I believe that if you follow the Bible or whatever you use to practice a religion, as well as do good and be a positive influence in society, as well as having full 100% faith in God or whoever you follow, then I feel like that spiritual protection will follow you throughout life. As long as you maintain those 3 things, you will have that spiritual protection around you. Religion plays a role in Black people's lives for sure. And everybody's lives too. Not only just Black people, but just everybody's lives. It gives people that peace of mind that you necessarily can't receive from the physical world. So yeah, that's what I believe. If you don't believe it, just don't be negative about it. You know, I'm not hurting anybody with my thoughts and opinions about it. So that's it for this video. A lot of good questions from my friends and acquaintances on social media. If you want to know my opinion on certain topics or you have a question you want to ask me, drop those questions in the comments as well. So yeah, that's the end of this video. It's your boy Agnell. Don't forget to try new things, and peace and positivity to everybody. Stay cool. God bless you all. And thanks for watching. Peace out.
Cooking shit up, I got the recipe. Money issues never really stressing me. Growing up, I always knew I had to get the cream. But why the root of all evil get the best of me? Lord, rescue me. I need more go, cause that is a no-go for sure though. I know, bro, before though, I was pro. Trying to get cheese, make deliveries like my name was DeJourno. My flow though, maybe it's just cold. Freezing, I'm killing these. Just call me Sub-Zero.